Above us, we hear the traffic on the New Jersey Turnpike in Camden, New Jersey. Every day, 800,000 vehicles cross the river on 21 bridges, with no idea of what's below that. We didn't either, so we invited 4 young explorers to join us on an historic expedition to discover the secrets of this river, the Cooper River. We'll kayak, hike, and bushwhack along the river all the way to its source, somewhere 17 miles upstream. We're not exactly sure where the source is, but we hope to find it. An expedition like this has never been done before. I'm not sure we're all going to make it, but we're sure going to try.
My vision for the Cooper River is a river that's for everyone and everything. Something that people of all abilities can enjoy, and that the things that have called the river home for many years before humans were ever here have the ability to thrive and enjoy it too. So we started sort of at the nexus of some pretty interesting places. The Kramer Hill Waterfront Park that used to be a landfill, and Petty's Island.
We paddled out to the island where we did some seining. It was amazing to see the biodiversity of the river. We caught around 6 different species of fish, from this little ones this big to a catfish this big.
Yeah. I think we're gonna let them back.
That's a good eating catfish.
That's a good eating catfish.
One of the things that we're hoping that our young leaders discover is that there's an abundance of life in the river, especially in the urban area, and for them to share that discovery with everyone so that they can learn to protect, preserve, and love this resource.
I collect some of the specimens, some of the animals and plants that we see along the way. I capture them temporarily to photograph them back at camp. What I'm trying to do with these kind of close-up macro shots is to show these very familiar creatures in new ways. They're not new species.
I mean, this is one of the most stunning flowers I've seen on the East Coast.
But I'm trying to show them in a way that helps people appreciate the beauty and complexity that's here. I mean, I think that's one of the core missions of this expedition, is to take this river and open people's eyes to what's here and the beauty that may have gone unnoticed.
So we started the expedition at a little spit of land that right now is a boat graveyard, but we're hoping to turn it into something fabulous and become part of the bigger system. I want to buy this, and I want to buy the property that this sits on, and turn this into a cafe, and then make the property that is adjacent to it part of Pine Point Park. We're gonna head that way around the corner and up the river. If you see anything cool, holler.
The hardest part was going against the current because tide was going out and we were going against it, so it was pretty hard.
The only complaint I have is I think I'm getting a blister on my thumb.
Our hope is that this whole shoreline is going to become greenway, is going to become parkland. The idea too is to have that trail that goes all along the waterfront that people will be able to use. Day 2 of our expedition, and we're now in the non-tidal Cooper River. So levels in this side of the lake are really determined by rainfall.
It started with a little drizzle, and then as we paddled into the Cooper Lake under a bridge, it just started to absolutely pour on us.
The rain came down hard. It poured. Pretty much every part of my body was wet.
It got really heavy halfway, and it was like there was a breeze coming in, and it was already super cold. I was covered in like 3 different layers of clothing, but I was still freezing, and my fingers started to change color and turn purple.
Eventually, we ended up paddling to the sewage pump station where we stopped for lunch.
The streams and tributaries.
The guy from the sewage plant station told us about what they were doing to improve the water quality and what has been done already.
We're really removing about 95% or better of the solids that are coming to us. So huge difference.
I didn't really know how centralized all the waste management was, how they got all the different towns and put them all into one station, then moved them off to the Camden site.
Getting in the canoe and getting out was pretty rough. And then at the end, the sun came out. We went over a couple dams. But it was fun.
Welcome everybody, day 3 of our expedition. Welcome to Haddonfield, welcome home. And we're here in Evans Pond.
Evans Pond, right off the bat, is very muddy. I got out the kayak maybe about 3 or 4 times in a matter of 10 minutes to pull us through the mud.
What we're gonna find today as we go upriver is that the river's gonna start to disappear, get smaller, but that nature is gonna start to take over.
They don't quite match up, but
That's fine. The people from the museum brought out electroshock fishing equipment. I was given pretty specific instructions. All right, Andrew, you gotta wear these gloves, you gotta go on the waders, and do not touch the water. They said, all right, when you hear the machine beeping, do not touch the water or you will get zapped. What kind of damage would it do if I got zapped?
Let's not find out.
They said it doesn't hurt that much, but it can still be pretty nasty. They would pulse an electric charge through the river, which would momentarily stun the fish so we could scoop them up in a net. It was really interesting to see the biodiversity of the river all just right there when we concentrated it in our tanks.
stick it in there. Squeeze. Squeeze with this hand. If he flops, just squeeze tighter. This is an American eel. It was probably a glass eel in about March. It could be 1 year old too. It's tough to tell, but they don't get much smaller than this.
So he's gonna be 64.1.
We had that small, recently transformed eel that we started with. And then this is what ends up migrating.
We were able to see some very large specimens of eels.
In the fall. It's a native fish. It's a native catfish.
And many different species of fish.
So the swallowtail's on the bottom and the spot-tail shiner is on the top.
And then when we got further upriver, we kept hitting like down trees and beaver dams, and it was hard to find where deep places were. And when trees was crossing, you didn't know if there were sticks underneath the water. I fell in quite a few times, but that's besides the point. Yeah, and I'm still up. A couple times, Bella had to get on my back to get over logs, and Bella had to stay in the boat, and I had to pull the boat. It was pretty intense, but I would do it again. Going under the 295 was easy. But when we went on the New Jersey Turnpike, it was pretty rough.
So before going into the tunnel, I was looking at it from a distance, crouching down, like, oh, that's dark. You had to be like slanted downwards, and like it was hurting my back a little bit. I didn't expect it to be this tough.
I know we had to like hike up from under the bridge to the side of the highway, and there were just a bunch of bushes and thorn bushes. There was a bunch of poison ivy too.
There was a point where we accidentally flipped over the kayak and all our stuff fell in the river. That was kind of nasty. But we managed to get over what we were trying to get over. It was just a lot of pulling the kayak through sand and mud. But it was one of the most fun days so far.
I learned that the Cooper River is very, I would say, diverse. It has so many different types of land structure. I just never would have thought. You go from mud to sand to rock, back to mud, back to sand, then like a little small stream to bushwhacking. Yeah, it was changing dramatically in like a matter of minutes.
Welcome to day 4 of our expedition.
My biggest challenge of the day was being underneath the hot sun with the waders. Oh man, today was like about 92, 90 something degrees.
We was in there all day with the waders and oh man, sweaty, hot.
I've never used waders before. There were some points in the river where the water was just like up to here.
We're gonna be kayaking with these waders on?
I did it yesterday. It was fine.
We actually sat in the water. The water didn't get in our waders, but we felt the cold water through our waders.
The expedition that we're on isn't for everyone. We are trekking through unknown parts right now. The plan is that we're going to make it accessible. Maybe not the whole 17 miles of the Cooper River, but certainly a big portion of it. We want to open it up, provide access points, and give people some places to just go and enjoy the river.
Yeah, land trail would be great. Going all the way out, that would be a really fun little trail to have. Walking through a lot of different areas and you can see a lot of different things through here. One of the things that I like about being down here is the privacy, but that would be one of those things we would have to give up for that. I think it would be worth it.
This was our swimming hole, you know. We didn't have pools and stuff back when I was little. So
we heard from Don that it used to be a large resource for him as a child.
The water was crystal clear. Back when I was young, I drank out of this creek.
But then later, they were unable to do that.
They were sewage plants that actually dumped into the creek. Well, the creek ended up, it got so polluted, it was yucky. I mean, it was a mess.
The river's been clearing out slowly, but they still need to try to reduce the runoff water.
Where are we going?
This right here is actually a connection to the sewer that's many feet down below us and below the river, that when they disconnected all of the small sewer treatment plants, they built a main line, and because the river is the low point, they built it under or right near the river. So we should come across several of these on our journey.
They dumped whatever they didn't want to use.
I met one lady, Mary. When she was a child, she was seeing the river as a multitude of colors from the paint factory up in Gibbsboro.
Especially, I remember vividly right at the fence line on this side, and as the water came past our property, that it was multicolored. So I can sort of remember purples and yellows and just all kinds of colors flowing through or sort of swirled together.
She had always been told not to go near it as it was polluted. Don't swim in the river is the thing she had been told by her father. And that was probably a contributing factor into what people today think of the Cooper River, as they think that it's still very polluted. But it's actually been quite improved.
And it's kind of devastating, really, that people did that to the river. But it's better now. We can walk through it safely. And I'm still here, so we're good.
It's been the hardest day so far. The waders in the sun was brutal, especially since we were stopping to get those interviews, getting out of the shade. The sun just beat down on you. I was soaked in sweat. It was pretty rough.
There's no like designated way to get down to the river from the road. So we had the bushwhack, and those Asian knotweed and the weeds and everywhere. But it was kind of fun.
The machete, that was a new experience for me. I actually enjoyed swinging it left to right, cutting branches down, and it was really fun.
And then it was kind of sketchy getting down on the river because you had to use like the roots from a tree and mud to kind of get down to the river. Pretty rough, but we got through it.
So I took the waders off like near the end where we had like maybe a half mile left. So I was just walking around with boots and shorts.
When we were leaving today, we switched from hiking on our feet to kayaking through a very dark, windy tunnel. It was very, very scary because there was a lot of big spiders and you couldn't see the end of the tunnel until you made a turn. And I've never been so happy to see the end of a tunnel in my life. The scariest tunnel by far ever in my life.
I'd never experienced something like this, so I'm guessing that they haven't either. But they've tackled each day, even though it's been tough sometimes, with excitement. And then coming out of it, you can tell that they're energized, even though they're exhausted, that there's a new found sense of themselves and the world around them.
It's been fun. It's great to have a great group that we have. Everybody help each other out. We guide each other, and we just, stick together.
Okay, get all hands on deck. See what we got here. I think those are baby bluegills.
Cool.
And look at those catfish.
Look at those catfish.
Anna got some pictures of catfish last night. Blow your mind.
This is Renatra. They pierce into their prey and then they suck out all the delicious juices. Oh, here's another one. Mayflies can be indicators of really excellent water quality.
This is the first time we found mayflies.
We're gonna go exploring upstream, really upstream.
The plan now is that we're going to go up to this beaver dam. We're going to get out. I'll go first. And we're going to leave the boats in the water. Take all your gear with you. Paddles and life jackets will disappear, thankfully. You're going to reappear when we need them again. Because it's one more lake. We start the hoofing. The hoofing is going to be easy hoofing for starters, okay?
So there's actually 21 of these crossings that the Cooper River goes under that most people don't know the Cooper River's there.
The highlight of today was we're getting ready to load the kayaks into Linden Pond, and a stranger drives by and she stops.
Step out of their box.
She says, "Are you the guys who's trying to discover the Cooper River?"
Inspired me. I said, "Wow!" And I was glued. I could not stop because you don't see this every day.
She was like, "Yeah." She was like, "I saw y'all in the news."
We need you guys to show more of what it is that everybody else ought to be doing.
She was amazing. She sent us some words of encouragement, and we wound up doing an hour and 15 minutes more than we were supposed to. And that's because we all was really just amazed and happy about what she said.
I just want to encourage you and let you know that this is only just begun. This is just your beginning. Woo!
How about that, man?
So how long is this right here?
The paddle will be about 20 minutes, not far. And the hike will be probably an hour and a half.
Today, we're really talking about what things used to be like before people came and changed the environment. We're going to be walking through the sponge where things are filtered through and where even if there is pollution, it can be dealt with in a natural way.
Day was particularly rough because I think the team just started struggling with the cohesion. We were all getting fed up and mad at each other, and the conditions on the trail weren't helping either.
I was just over it at that point because the mud, it was way above my ankle at that point.
After we crossed over Gibbsboro Road, we can tell that the topography changed and the vegetation changed. So we're seeing low bush blueberry now, mountain laurel, oaks, and we're in a different microenvironment.
I would say the first half of the expedition felt fairly familiar, or it didn't stray far from my expectations of like, this is a polluted river, this is an urban river, it's a little bit smelly after the rains, there's a lot of invasive species kind of along the bank, there's a lot of road noise and culverts, and these are all things I'm used to seeing from exploring the rivers around Atlanta. But really the last couple of days has been where it has shocked me, where how many different little microbiomes have been, especially today, just carpets of ferns and mossy bank. It feels more like I'm in the Smoky Mountains or the Blue Ridge than I am in New Jersey, like urban New Jersey.
Once we got through some of the swamp, the river got real narrow, probably only about 2 feet wide. It was so beautiful. It was something I really didn't expect since it was like sandwiched between a few major roads.
Oh, that you're holding it just the right way. We got into areas that were so rich in animal life.
We saw these frogs and toads everywhere.
And so I had some opportunities to kind of run around and catch a dragonfly and a damselfly and a few frogs that we have now that I'm going to photograph tonight and release back tomorrow morning.
Today we're really trying to figure out where is the source of the Cooper River. And since we still haven't totally figured out the where, thoughts on the why?
No one knows.
No one's tried. No one's tried. Have we figured out why no one's tried?
Because it seemed like a bad idea.
The terrain is a little battle scarish.
It's a little challenging.
A little challenging.
Oh, it's a machete back here. I need a machete.
Don't throw it.
There were a lot of thorn bushes. Like everywhere you look, there was a thorn bush somewhere. And I counted. I have about like 20 scratches all over my body just from thorn bushes.
And any ideas of what the source is going to look like? Is it going to look a lot like this, or what are we feeling?
It's probably just going to be this swampy bit just stops, and then we just stand in there and be like, yay, we found it.
So once we get to the source, what I'm really looking forward to is the sense of accomplishment for the young people that are with us, and for the people seeing this, that they understand that we have life right here in Camden County, that we have nature here, and that there's a lot of possibilities that we need to open up because they've just been tucked away by our built environment.
Okay, where are we in terms of our excitement level? Are we really excited? Kind of excited, not excited? 1, 2, 3, go. Are we going to find the source or not? 1, 2, 3, vote.
Oh, we sure as hell.
I'm really excited to finally get to the source of the river because that'll really complete the whole journey and tie everything together.
The river got more narrow and more narrow as we got closer to the source. The surrounding area near the river was very muddy. Sometimes to your ankles, sometimes to your knees, maybe a little further than that. It was actually beautiful. Yeah, we've seen beautiful ferns, frogs, all types of stuff. Stuff I would never expect to see. Where's my fishing rod when I need it? We came up on this big open body of water. That was like a bluish, clearish water. Oh, you can see the fish. And we thought, oh wow, we found the source. It's not the end, is it?
No.
It's pretty close. Is this it right here?
This is the source of the Cooper River. You can see the water flowing down from this natural spring, flowing into this pond, into this river.
I claim it to be mine now. I got to put my stick in the ground.
No way.
I'm opening it.
This little triple, man, looks kind of soft. It was amazing that we came and we found the source of the Cooper River.
My father, who was 95 when he died about 8 years ago, every single day went down to a spring, and this is the only water he would drink. I want to go into the source and filter this water.
It's clear.
It's clear enough to drink. How'd it taste? Tastes earthy?
Megan's gonna try it.
Yeah, it's earthy. Now you sell this for like $70
Tastes
a
better
jug.
than that water the other day.
You know what?
It's not bad.
It's probably not that bad. It won't kill me. It won't hurt to try a little bit.
See what it tastes like.
Do I have water bottles?
Yeah.
Tastes earthy though.
How is it? Yeah, a little earthy.
All right, can I try it?
It don't taste bad, but it don't taste good.
That's not bad.
Don't.
good. A little hydrogen sulfide in it, but it tastes,
that's what
it's got a little nice taste to it otherwise.
The mouth of the Cooper River is like really dirty and gross, but at the source, the water's clear. Like, it's clear and there's a lot of fishes.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. I've never seen clear water like this in Jersey.
Yeah, the water is very clean up here than down in Camden. There's a lot more animals around too, like in the water.
It's amazing to see how much it can change.
To have the courage to do this was awesome, and that you made it through, and not ever did one of you say like, I'm done, I'm giving up, this is over. And even through some really tough stuff, impresses me, it gives me hope for the future, and it makes me excited to keep doing what I'm doing to, protect these places.
It's really something monumental to really find the beginning of something that really can bring communities together.
It was worth the experience and seeing new things. It was difficult, but I would do it again.
I would do it again. Maybe I'd be a little more prepared. Got a little bit of battle scars, but I mean, it's expected on a kind of like a hike expedition.
When I first touched this river, in a kayak, in a hurricane, kind of seeing what was here, it just blew my mind away of the resource right here in our backyards. And I thought about this idea of doing an expedition, and I was never certain in my mind whether or not we could actually do it. I wasn't certain if we could get a group that would have the stamina to hold up for so long, because I knew the challenges.
Well, we discovered the Cooper River. We paddled through it. We hiked through it. We fell in it. We had it on us. We even tasted the Cooper River, and now it's in us.
I'm in the source of the Cooper River.
Yeah, it's nice. It's very nice.
Oh.